The year is 1656 after the fall of man. The first mass extinction event in human history has just occurred. The Great Flood of Noah has washed away all life on Earth. Below the global oceans lie the remains of birds, beasts, cattle, men, women, children, and the legendary Nephilim or giants, left to sink to the ocean floor to be buried and forgotten. All life has perished except for Noah and his family, who by God's grace has escaped the judgment of the Lord. The last of all living creatures cling inside the wooden ark, their only hope of survival. Most animals came in 2 by 2, male and female, except for the clean animals, which came in as sevens. From above, the ark looks destined to perish, a small seed of life surrounded by horizons of ocean. But God remembers Noah and the ark, sending a wind to pass over the earth. The ark, 150 days after rain itself began, comes to rest. Still surrounded by ocean, the ark has run aground on top of the mountains of Ararat. As the water level begins to lower, 114 days after the ark has come to a rest, Noah opens the window of the ark and sends out a raven. The raven went back and forth across the earth, but we never read of its return to the ark. Noah also sent out a dove to test if the waters had receded from the earth. But the dove found nowhere to land and soon returned to Noah. Waiting another 7 days, he sent out a dove again. Feeling exhausted and hopeless, Noah would have most likely prayed to the Creator for his deliverance and salvation after spending 278 days adrift, with the world he once knew sunk and buried below him. Behold, that evening the dove returned, in its beak a freshly plucked olive leaf. The deliverance Noah had been promised was soon to be fulfilled. Waiting another 7 days, he sent out a third dove, which never returned. After a year of being on the ark, 1657 years since the fall, the earth was dried up. The old world was gone. In its place, a strange land was left. Unaware at the time, mankind would soon discover the world has gone through a massive change. Continents have been torn apart. New seas have invaded what was once land. The new earth would shape mankind's future until this day. Looking back, we can see that the ark has landed on top of the mountain of Ararat, which is located in Turkey. God spoke to Noah, saying to disembark from the ark, himself, his family, and all the creatures, and to be fruitful and multiply on the earth. With the ark stranded on the peak of a mountain, with the only door most likely at an elevated point, many people speculate Noah would have had to have broken the ark from the bottom to allow a doorway for the animals to disembark. This would have weakened the integrity of the ark, causing it to split into two. Now Noah, who had seen favour in the Lord's eyes, built an altar to the God of all creation. It's here where he took the 7th of every clean animal and offered it as a burnt offering to God. The Lord, seeing this, said in his heart that he would not curse the ground anymore, referring back to the curse Adam or Cain had brought upon the whole earth, even though man's heart is wicked from youth. God blesses Noah and his 3 sons and repeats the command to be fruitful and to replenish the earth. God also ensures to Noah and his family that the animals will fear them and are given into your hands. Pre-flood, man ate of every plant and fruit for food. It's now God allows man to eat of every moving creature that lives, but not eat the flesh with the blood, for it is the life of the animal. God then gives his commandment on murder, saying, "Whoever sheds a man's blood, his blood must be shed, for in the image of God man is created." This commandment is also tied with God's intention for man to be fruitful and multiply on the earth, as killing another man would not only be murder, but also hindering the repopulation of the planet. It's at this moment Noah and his family would have paused and looked in wonder. Before the Great Flood, it had never rained and would have been a great shock to the pre-flood world. Likewise, seeing a rainbow for the first time would have left an impression. This is the sign of God establishing his second covenant with man, promising to never again flood the world with water to destroy all life. The rainbow is a reminder of this covenant to all generations. With this promise, one can only imagine the sigh of relief the remnants of mankind would have had, knowing they were safe from another flood. Noah, finally feeling at peace, went on, becoming a farmer and planted a vineyard. With the dead world behind him, it's now up to him and his family to start again. Becoming drunk on the fruits of the vine, he stumbled naked into his tent and passed out. One can only imagine the hardship of this 601-year-old man has had to go through, stuck on a boat with his family. I would remind everyone, going on a short car ride with family for most parents is enough to justify a glass of wine in the evening. One can hardly blame Noah for his actions. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his brothers. The two other brothers went and respectfully covered their father's nakedness as to not look. When Noah awoke, he knew what his younger son had done. Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. Bless the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. Wait, what just happened? Ham saw the nakedness of his father, and it's Canaan, the son of Ham, who gets cursed? There are many theories as to what has just happened here, but I'm going to discuss two. The first one is what you read is what actually happened, plain and simple. But this doesn't explain why Canaan, a seemingly innocent party, gets cursed. Everything I discuss after this point is opinion and speculation and should not be taken as biblical fact. The second theory, which is the one I hold to, is Ham raped Noah's wife, either his own mother or stepmother, while Noah was drunk, with teachers that hold this view saying he did this to usurp power away from Noah as head of the family. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but there is a lot in the text that actually points to this when you look into the specific language being used. To see a father's nakedness is referred to in Leviticus 18 verse 8, and it is the same as sleeping with your father's wife. This would also explain why the other two brothers went to cover their mother's nakedness and did not look. When Noah awoke, he immediately knew what his son had done, most likely because his wife told him. It also explains why Canaan was cursed and not Ham, if Canaan was the result of this rape. To find out more about what happened between Noah, Ham and Canaan, I've linked a video in the description which explains it very well. There is still one more element I would like to add to this theory, and it's really why did Ham do this? Even though symbolically taking another man's wife represents having power over them, the reality is Ham would have gained no power, and he would have had no friends after doing this. His own family most likely hating him. I believe the reason was not to usurp power from Noah, but instead it was an attempt at a land grab. Now hear me out. Put yourself in this family's position. You have just inherited the entire earth. What do you think was discussed between them over dinner? What was on TV that night? No. Humans today are the same as yesterday. They would have been dividing up the land between the three brothers as to who gets what section of the earth. We can confidently assume this when we look at where the future sons and grandsons of the three brothers go on to build their nations, which we will go into in the next video. Now, I have two brothers and I can confidently say that trying to divide up the land between them would have left some brothers happier than others. Now, Ham couldn't go on to murder his brothers like Cain and Abel. God had just given the punishment for murder that he would have to die also. So instead, he tried to grab more land another way. By getting Noah's wife pregnant, he would have thought this would act as a fourth son to Noah, meaning the land would have been divided up 4 ways instead of 3. This also explains why Noah cursed Canaan the way he did. It was Ham's intention to make Canaan a great man with his inheritance, equal to that of Noah's sons. But instead, Noah curses Canaan to be a servant and the lowest of all the future nations. Man's new future has just begun, and just like how it started the first time, sin has already tainted the earth. In the next video, we will continue from here and to the Tower of Babel. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and consider subscribing to keep up to date with new videos. God bless.